what gamers should grasp about big studios and big games. I anticipated that Electronic Arts' purchase of Titanfall studio Respawn Entertainment wasn't going to go over well with fans. And from what I've seen, the reaction has been mostly negative. But should we really be so quick to judge this will be the death knell for creativity at Respawn? I don't think so. I think we need to understand the realities of running big development studios that are building blockbuster games. I don't have the complete inside scoop or a crystal ball on the future. But I have interviewed the leaders of EA and Respawn about this, and I want to point out the basic business matters that fans should understand before they leap to the most cynical conclusion. I don't mean to apologize for the behavior of big companies. I just think we should grasp why they do what they do. These companies aren't acting the way they are because they're evil. It's because they're doing what's in their business interests, and that's the way that you run a company with the aim of producing one big creative success after another. On Twitter, some fans made immediate use of their extended 280 characters to criticize the deal. If you are expecting people to be happy for you, they won't be. EA is one of the most hated companies out there. If history has shown us anything, their leadership will drive your company into the ground and destroy the quality of your product. This is a bad move at Respawn. Mark Hilgefort, at MRKigs, November 9, 2017. Above, Vince Zampella of Respawn shows off Titanfall 2. Another snarky fan said, "I'm pumped to open loot boxes while wall running." Fans appear to be cynical now because EA just shut down the 70-person Visceral Studios in Redwood City, California, and reassigned its work to a studio in Vancouver, Canada. In an interview, I asked Vince Zampella, CEO of Respawn, what he expected to hear from fans. "Ultimately, my message is we are still Respawn, and we are going to make the same games we did before, and hopefully better," Zampella said. "Anyone who is a fan of Respawn should trust us that what we are doing, what we think, is best for the future of Respawn and our games. We intend to deliver to our fans everything, and more than we did in the past." Why are fans not trusting Respawn? And why are fans automatically assuming that shutting down Visceral was the wrong decision? Patrick Soderlund, executive vice president at EA, said that EA didn't shut down Visceral for business reasons or because the single-player Star Wars game wasn't going to monetize as easily as games with live operations, loot crates, and microtransactions. In an interview, Soderlund said it was a creative-driven decision, meaning that the gameplay wasn't meeting expectations. The game sounded promising, as it was being made by Uncharted co-creator Amy Hennig, but we don't know it was good. EA said it got feedback from those who played the prototype and decided to reboot the game with a new studio in Vancouver, where costs are much lower. Above, Titanfall 2 Zion Titan. The cynicism extends from Visceral to Respawn, as some fans say that Zampella and others are cashing out and selling out. But the deal is structured in a way that will reduce that kind of behavior. Respawn gets $151 million in cash. But it also gets $164 million in restricted long-term stock in EA. That means that if EA's stock price goes up in the future, then Respawn's people get even more money. And the deal has a $140 million earnout, or a bonus, if Respawn hits its goals through 2022. This is not the structure of a deal, where those being acquired can easily take the money and run, nor is it the structure of a deal of an acquirer that plans to shut down a studio after a short time. This is how you structure a deal, if you want the people you are acquiring to stick around for a long time. And if you want to get them to create something of value for the larger corporation. When you work inside EA at DICE or BioWare Vancouver, they all have creative freedom and creative integrity, said Soderlund, who rose through the ranks at EA's DICE studio and is a game developer himself. There are different cultures in different locations. That's what gets those studios to make great games. We are not interested in changing any of that. We want to keep what is great here. One of the reasons we are going into this acquisition is because of what Respawn is. It would be very unwise of us to change any of that. above Jason West and Vince Zampella. Fans are not expecting EA to do anything that makes business sense. But are they forgetting that EA actually enabled Respawn and the original Titanfall to exist? EA bankrolled Respawn's first game as Zampella and Jason West left the Call of Duty studio.